Hello, and welcome to the Paid Off Project, where I'm trying to pay off the remainder of my student loan debt using side hustles while still working a pretty intense full time job. My plan is to continue to make my usual student loan payments, but try to use some money from side hustles to pay extra and therefore pay it down earlier. So we'll see how it goes. My first side hustle that I'm trying is reselling. Part of the reason is I was just naturally reselling some things as I get my new place in order and get rid of just some stuff that had been in storage. And there's also some familiarity because my parents are eBay hobbyists and collectors, if you will. So, what I'm going to do in this episode is just go through what I sold in my first month reselling. I chose to resell on eBay and Poshmark because they're platforms that I have some familiarity with. If you don't know, all reselling means is reselling things for ideally a profit. So you buy something, you sell it to someone else. Hopefully, you sell it for higher than you purchased it for, and higher, including after you consider fees, and you make a little profit. So I've perused is also the wrong word. I've browsed eBay and watched some resellers. There's a lot of reseller YouTube out there where you can learn and see what type of things people focus on. But I'm just seeing how it goes. It's a project. I'm trying different side hustles that I think wouldn't take a lot of time and would be fun for me and seeing what happens. So I'm just going to focus on what I sold, how much it sold for. It will be quick because I didn't do that much in my first month, which is, well, I was pretty happy with it, but you're not going to see crazy numbers. You'll see real numbers. And then I'll probably do another episode of things that I learned in my first month. For the detail people, first month is going to be April 15th to May 15th because I started at a mid-month period. And then month two will pick up at June because I was pretty much on vacation for 2 weeks. So without further ado, starting with eBay, the last thing I sold, because it's in reverse order, is this Cotopaxi Tech color block bucket hat. Bought it for myself last year, hated how it looked on me, and so just wanted to get rid of it in some way and was hoping someone can get some use out of it while these types of things are still semi-in, but also great sun protection. I sold it for $10. I had priced it maybe about 15, that's my best memory, which was decently lower than the other similar hats in similar condition. But again, I just wanted to get rid of it, get someone else using it. I got an offer, made a counter offer, sold. I will say, because I priced this right and it's something people want, I think this sold in a day, 2 max. It was quick. So I'm happy to get that one out. The next thing I sold was something that my dad had collected through his collecting, I guess, and given to me, and I just wasn't using or displaying, and it was this cool Florida State football vault, and basically it's a book inside it's a book inside of a little cover box, and when you pull it out, it's the history of Florida State football, and there's all these cute little sort of faux vintage souvenirs like postcards or like a fake ticket from a certain game. Doesn't sound as cute as it is. It's great, and if you love Florida State football, it's awesome. Over the years, I watch a lot less than I used to, and it just didn't fit my current decor. So I figured, what the heck? Someone is going to love this, hopefully. There's a lot you can do with it. Put the book out or take out the little postcards and different things and do something with it. So I put it up. I cannot tell you what price. The outside of the box was like sort of marked up, but the inside book was in good shape other than some of those like loose items were falling out because the glue gets old. But sold that, was stoked because I think it's cool, and hopefully whoever gets it enjoys it. If you're sensing a theme, that is part of what I like about this whole process is you feel like things are finding the home they're intended to. And then of course, not of course, On these are sale prices, so eBay takes fees off of that, and I try to price shipping right, but occasionally shipping might be higher and you might lose a little bit there. So I'm not making nearly this much money, this $35. But let's see. We'll go to the next one, and that'll be a good example to show different profit and hopefully not loss, but it happens. So this next thing is awesome, I think. I guess I kind of have a collector's mindset, but it's this Hoyesva, which I may be mispronouncing, but a Hopi artist, and it's a print. You can tell it's a print if you take I think a magnifying glass, I think it's called a loop, and look at it, and you can see like all these teeny tiny little dots. Fun to do that just to learn. But I picked this up for, I'm actually going to look and see on my little inventory list. I picked this up for $10 at an estate sale where I was shopping for art for myself. Thought it was cool. Listed it. Was literally about to put it on my own wall thinking, I don't know, like we'll see. And until it sells, I'll put it up. And then it sold, which was great. This went, I believe, to a buyer in New Mexico that seems to have some knowledge around Native American art. So that, again, makes me happy too. Just thought it was a cool piece. It's pretty big. I'm trying to remember. Maybe, it's not 3 feet, but I don't know, 24 by 15. It's kind of like poster-ish size. So the tricky thing on this was figuring out how to ship it flat because it is a nice piece of artwork. I didn't want to roll it and mess it up in that way. So luckily I had some cardboard boxes from my own moving that I kept thinking, there's got to be something to do with these. Would definitely have liked better scissors, but I got it done and got that shipped out. This one was great. I bought it for 10, sold for 127, was thrilled. But just to break it down, I did promote this on eBay, which is a way you say, sort of improving the likelihood that someone's going to see it. But in exchange, you give them a higher percentage of the sale. So you can see it says sold via promoted listings. And so the fees on that were $19.99. That's what I paid out to eBay. Shipping, my cost was $402, like my cost that didn't get passed on because I did buy a they call it a poly mailer, like those waterproof envelope-y things. Great description. I'll have to work on some of my language, but to use to put outside of the print. So I had the print between two pieces of cardboard, bubble wrapped, and then inside this mailer. Again, it's a nice piece. Wanted to make sure it got there in good shape, worth the $402 for me. So doing all the math for you. The profit was $82.99. Thrilled with that. And this was a fun one because I actually picked a cool piece of art. So this next one, which is my last eBay sale, 2 Patagonia hats. I sold these together. I got, not sold, but overly excited in my initial reselling journey. And I saw on Poshmark 4 Patagonia hats for $20. I was like, that's amazing. I saw it said see photos. They're not all in perfect condition. Fine. Did no research on how much these sell for. Didn't look that carefully. So these 2 ones were pretty worn looking. And I initially had them listed separately and then put them together to see what would happen. There's also a fair number of these hats being sold, which makes things trickier. But once I put them together, they sold pretty fast. You can do the math. I paid $5 a piece for them. Obviously not turning a huge profit. But I think, let's see if I can find it quickly. I mean, I probably made $2 total, maybe. So pretty much coming out even, but I viewed that one as a lesson learned. Let's see. So, all right, that is that for eBay. Moving on to, what are we moving on to? Oh, Poshmark. So, hadn't used Poshmark, but a lot of friends do for mostly buying clothes and selling some of their brand name stuff. So, figured I would try it. I had bought the 4 hats on Poshmark, and I put one or two, I cross-listed some things, meaning on both, on Poshmark. One of the 4 hats I got was this pink Patagonia hat, which is super cute. Again, you can tell it's worn, but it's still a nice hat. Can't remember what I originally listed at, but we landed on $11. So again, I'm not making huge, I'm basically trying to get rid of these hats and not lose money on them, but making squeezing out a few dollars here and there. And then my last sale of my first month, so let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items, were these Patagonia black shorts that honestly I loved. They were just a little too much, a little too short on me. So I put them up. One of those, I'm happy someone got them. That's a great deal on barely worn Patagonia shorts, but it also put some money in my pocket, and they were nice enough to leave me a review, which is important because I'm just starting on these platforms, so I want to make sure that I'm off to a good start. Okay, one caveat. I'm such a rules person. Or not a rules, but like to be full disclosure. eBay many years ago, I sold on a little bit, but mostly just to offload my own stuff. So if you'll hang with me for a minute, I can calculate. I have a little Excel spreadsheet, which is probably a topic for a different day, but what my profit was. Okay, so this is going to include Facebook Marketplace items because my spreadsheet just includes everything, but it'll give you an idea of how much of a difference there is between revenue and profit when you're on these platforms that take a commission. But between April and May, and again, so April 15th to May 15th, my total revenue, so that's everything that came in, was $251. Out of that, what I actually took home was $155. So it's about $100 difference. But you know what? I had some fun. I definitely learned some things. And I got rid of some old things I didn't want that hopefully other people are finding great use for, and on their side get to go, ooh, I got a good deal. So that is the monetary side of my first month reselling. So $155, we'll take it. And yeah, that's money I didn't have, and I've had a good time doing it. So I will do an episode that goes over a little bit more of what I learned in month 1 that will help me in other months. But yeah, that's transparent overview. All right. Bye till next time. Oh, and if you feel like subscribing to this evolving project, please do. I hope to get to a point where I'm able to edit these episodes and also have a little bit something more interesting on the visual side. But as you'll see, I didn't want to be right in the platforms because I didn't want to show. Until next time, bye-bye.